Welcome everyone, it's Howie Schwartz and you guys are in for a treat tonight. This is the OfferVault free webinar training series. It is great to have you here, and any questions live, please do type them in. I always try to encourage as many people as possible to attend our live webinars, so that way you can type in questions and a niche market or a specific offer that you want to take a look at, and we're going to try to work that through with you live tonight. If you can join us, we do this each Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. If you don't have the opportunity to join live, or you miss a session, you want to watch another session, then what I suggest is you go to the free training tab, make sure you're logged in, and you can then check out all of our previous content. And tonight is Organic Traffic and SEO Part 5. You're going to see that we've recorded 4 additional or previous webinars recently that you can learn more about SEO for affiliates. And that's kind of really what we've been focused on for the past month. And we're going to do another session tonight. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about backlinks, understanding content distribution and syndication, how to use and leverage guest blog posts, how to leverage article marketing and distribution, how to leverage press releases, which is sort of one of my top secrets to rank on Google for, about 20 years now. So I've been doing this since 1999 as a full-time affiliate marketer. So I've seen my share of updates on Google. I've also seen many search engines that I bet a whole bunch of you have never even heard of before. So sites such as Lycos and Alta Vista and Excited Home and Dogpile and many others that just are not in our vocabulary today. So there's been some consistent things that have stayed the same, and there's been some things that have changed. So we'll continue to talk about that in our series. So again, if you have any questions or a market that you'd like me to take a look at tonight, please do type it in live, and I'm happy to review it with you. So again, what I recommend every single week is, for the first thing that you do is you log into OfferVault, and for me, I'll do it before the webinars, but you could do it when you're going to watch a replay every week or after you watch it live, whatever your schedule is, but you really should put this on your calendar. Consistency is one of your most important steps, and consistency is one of the key things that separates a super affiliate from someone who's treating this as a hobby. And I think about super affiliates as the opportunity to do this full time, right? So consistency is one of the keys. And I find that just actively calendaring your repetitive activities is just a wonderful reminder, just a great way to get you always on top of it. So here's what we do each and every week. We go to the homepage of OfferVault, we log in, we click affiliate networks, and we sign up for 10 networks that you have not applied for in the past. So you can go from any of the featured ones here, and we can scroll down. Of course, we have over 140 networks to sign up, new networks always coming online. And you also can, of course, start to pick networks from offers that you might be interested in. So let's see here. So someone was looking at the credit market. So let's look at credit repair real quick. So you can also search for an offer that you're interested in and then apply directly from the network tabs here, the network links. Or what you could do is, of course, review any of the offers directly and click your run offer or join network, right? That goes to the same spot. So really important, each and every week, always sign up for 10 new affiliate networks. It's going to always diversify your opportunities. Okay, let's get right into it. So David wants to take a look at a niche market that's called credit dispute letters. So let's take a look. So I usually start with Google because that's where your prospect, your consumer, your next customer is going to start. So that's why it's very important to pay attention to how Google is understanding and treating your market. So a great way to do this is to use Google Suggest or Google Autocomplete, because this shows really the intent of the searcher. So as we start to type here, credit DI, dispute, we start to see dispute letter, form online, letter 609, which must be certain type, which we could take a look at, samples, templates, companies. So kind of interesting here that the second phrase is what David wanted to take a look at, which is credit dispute letters. Next, what I always do is scroll down and I look at searches related to, and I write this down. So I'm going to write down credit dispute letters that work, credit dispute letters templates. So again, I'm going to write each one of these down. And for me, like I always mention, I like to use a Google Doc or a Google Sheet. That way online, I can always track my markets. And I can pay attention to what is changing, maybe either with any sort of seasonality or other competitors that are coming into a niche market. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what has been happening over time, right? It's not just about what you're seeing today or tomorrow. You want to be able to understand historically who's been a consistent authority in the market. We'll talk more about authority sites in a little bit tonight, and who's, a competitor is maybe starting to trend upwards, right? So it's important to kind of understand both of them. So again, I'm starting to pay attention here and track all of these keywords here. Next, I want to take a look at any of the ads that are running. So AdWords or the ads that are running in Google search, AdWords is a wonderful way to also understand which companies are very serious about this market in your niche, and I'll write down the company names. Also, I want to understand the titles of their ads. And the reason why is, as I spoke about on our last webinar, is your page titles are super important, because this is the dominant sort of part that's your link in the Google SERPs, which is your search engine results, right? And it's not only very important as part of ranking for the top of Google, right? Because Google is taking a look and understanding how you're constructing your page titles. It's also very important as a call to action. So a great example is that just because a site is ranking as number one or number two, many times site 3, 4, 5 can start to generate almost as many and sometimes even more clicks, right, than the top rankings, if they have a better call to action within the page title. So sample letter for filing credit disputes, 2019 updated template, right? So someone sees that that's something that is current. We have credit dispute letters, a guide. That's an okay title. Credit report dispute letter, not the best title. MyFICO is obviously a pretty big site. This is a PDF file. Here's a sample letter from consumerfinance.gov, right? Sample letter. So I'm looking at some multiple things here that's talking about sample letters. So I'm going to write that down: sample letter, sample letter, sample letter. So I'm writing that down, right? Something to think about, because even though the phrase that we're searching here is credit dispute letter, some of the key search terms were around samples, right, or templates, right? So I'm going to write that down. This gets interesting. Is the 609 letter really a credit repair secret? Question mark. So something that's going to pique interest, get attention. This is a really good page title. I love when you can incorporate a question into your page title. Let's add some intrigue, really strong for a call to action. We start to see, as we were starting to type in here, more things about 609s, We're going to talk about people also asking in a moment. So I'm going to write down 609 letter. You get another sample credit, how to send a credit, how to write. So how to's also work really well as a call to action. Sample letter. So again, what I'm learning here is that the concept of talking about samples and templates is really important. Also thinking about here, people also ask. So I'm a huge fan of leveraging. So this is interesting. Search for what do you say in a credit dispute letter. This is giving you also related searches. This is a newer feature. So this is starting to show when people are asking these questions, what search terms, what search phrases they're generating to lead you to it. So this is pretty phenomenal as a way to also think about how we start to develop contents, right? So now you could start using this as content development, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and some of your page titles. So this is just awesome. So you literally can spend 20, 30 minutes for each one of your niche markets and each one of your sort of top key phrases and understand what content you should be writing and also other related search terms. So I'm a huge fan. Again, this is a newer feature that Google has been implementing. So again, look at this. I mean, you literally could spend 20, 30 minutes kind of going through each one of these. So part of the reason why I love people ask, people also ask on Google, is this is really how I'm coming up with concepts for and ideas for content and for articles and for press releases. I do use, as I mentioned, someone was asking kind of how I use the keywords here as we're starting to type and use Google Auto Complete. I'm also starting to write articles and content about this, but these are some more kind of generic key phrases that are very important and we want to rank for them. These are going to obviously generate a lot of traffic within the niche. These are going to be your more popular phrases that your prospects are typing in, but these don't necessarily make, sort of the best, sort of anchor text as a call to action or what can be called clickbait, right? So the concept of clickbait can be negative where you sometimes see marketers use something that's a little bit misleading to generate clicks, and you don't have to do that, and that's not going to work well to have any traffic that's going to convert, right? If you're running clickbait and people are just clicking over to your affiliate site, if they're not going to pay attention because the content doesn't match, then they're typically not going to convert. So I don't like the concept of clickbait as being misleading or not not of interest to your consumer. But to me, I think that clickbait can also be used in a positive way, where it's something to build intrigue or something to build attention. So when we start to go through here, these start to give us ideas on much better page titles and much better call to action. And again, I love using questions in my articles because again, it builds intrigue. It gets your prospect interested. And this is a wonderful way for you to start writing content yourself. And we will be talking in the near future about outsourcing for affiliates and how you can start to manage outsourcers so you don't have to do all of the work yourself. All right, let me take a look here at any questions, and then we're going to get into some additional ways to use this content and start to develop articles, and then start to, of course, distribute them for additional backlinks and additional to generate additional traffic through referrals, which we're going to talk about also. Okay, good. I'm just looking at some other markets. So again, everyone, please do continue typing in your markets. I'm happy to take a look at them with you live on the webinar. Okay, so we're looking here. People also ask for, so what do you say in a credit dispute letter? Let's check Google here. We have our sample letters, credit report, sample letters, how to write a credit dispute letter. Sample letter writing. So the interesting thing is sometimes even when I see relevant content that's ranking really well, I many times will actually go back to just that question and write my content around that, because I think that many times we're going to start to see better engagement, right? Start to draw more clicks from our consumers, right? So I actually like that question better than most of these. I do like here this anchor text, I'm sorry, not anchor text, this page title here. Sorry, you have 4 credit fixes that actually work that nobody uses. Like, that's a great article. And the reason why is Huffington Post, right? So this is written by editors, by journalists, right? So that's where you're going to see some really good title usage there. Let's actually look at that as another little bit of a trick. I'll show you something interesting. So if we do site : Huffington Post, so we can see now on Huffington Post articles that they've published. So 4 easy fixes that actually work. The easy fix, 10 steps, 10 step to help erase errors, how to dispute a credit card charge. My ex was supposed to pay the debt. To correct my credit board, I had to prove I was not someone else. There's a chance your credit board is wrong. And in the new, so like these become really interesting, very engaging headlines. So when it comes to an article that's published here, that's not necessarily, a question that's in Google. People also ask, I do, of course, recommend that you're modifying that page title and that article title. Right? You don't want to copy that, directly. And the more generic ones, sample credit report letter. I mean, that's generic. But when you look at, some of the more engaging, the easy way, top 10 steps to, top 10 steps to fixing credit report errors. So again, I would probably vary this a little bit to make sure that, you're not just copying and pasting these direct. But these are just wonderful ideas, for articles, right? So now if we take a look here, to write original dispute letters. This is saying if you write a letter in your own words, why you need to put it in writing. To contact the bureaus. Let's see this. Interesting, right? So when you start to look at this, each one of these points could actually be an article. Right, so this is incorporating the top 4, but you can expand these and actually create an article off even one of these. So again, I'm just a huge fan of leveraging the power within Google and starting to look at some of the top publishing sites to really pay attention to the type of content that you should develop. Okay, let me look here for questions. I want to make sure that I'm answering all of your questions. Great. Please continue typing in questions so we can continue going through them. Next, once we have a topic, so let's say here we're going to write about this here. Can disputing hurt your credit? Sort of a good topic. Fairly common. I'm seeing this appear very frequently. How disputing information on your credit, 5 mistakes to avoid when disputing credit reports. Does it hurt your credit score? So we take a look here. We can take a look at the authors on Mint. It's also good to see kind of what other type of content that they may be publishing. So this is sort of a good article, and let's start from here. So now what we can do is we go back into Google, and we put this in exact match. We can start to see who's ranking for this. Start to see if we see any article sites. And what we could do is we could take it out of quotes. I usually starting with quotes and one understands. Now we can start to see more articles. Take a look at some article distribution sites. Again, just get a feel for what other type of sites here publishing content. So I'm looking here for for a blog that maybe we could be a guest author on. Let's try guest writer. So what I'm trying to look for here is some content and some sites that we can submit articles to or write a guest blog post. Let's keep looking. So again, you got to dig in, especially in these more competitive niches. We need to keep on digging in. There we go, guest blog. So Women's Connection. Let's take a look at a few of these. There we go. So we have a few guest blog posts. So I'm trying to see here who's publishing some content. There we go. Good. So what we did here is we looked at sort of a title of interest, or you could use just the credit dispute kind of keywords. Again, I like to look at some more interesting titles and a little bit more variety in this in the keywords that we're using. So this is credit report, credit score, disputing. So like I will usually search based on titles, and then I put in quotes here guest blog. So I'm trying to see here which sites are actually accepting guest blog posts. So right here, so it's author Russell Smith. So the advantage of developing content and submitting it and trying to find other sites that you can publish your content or syndicate your content for things like guest blogs is that not only you're getting your brand out there, but on the majority of the sites that you're going to work with, you actually have the really important ability to link to your site. So this here is linking directly to this profile. So again, this is really one of the key advantages for being able to distribute and syndicate your content. Let's see here. It's having multiple blog posts. Let's keep on looking. Guest blog. There we go. So this is another great example. So right up top here, she's a certified consumer credit counselor. Visit her site or contact. Right. So right off the bat, it's a great way to get distribution for your content and direct links back to your site. So the goal of distributing content is to not only help to educate and bring value to your prospects, right, and to your future customers, but also to receive distribution. So you're able to gain benefit from any of the authority, which I'm going to explain in another few minutes, from other established websites, and not only direct some of that authority back to your site in the form of backlinks, right? But also in the form of referral traffic. So what you're going to find is that consumers that are landing on this page are likely to click over to the author's website. And it's just a key way to not only generate generate anchor text, but also to be able to direct. Let me check some article here. To direct referral traffic directly to your site. So take a look at one more here, and then we're going to talk about what makes an authority site. There we go. So submit articles. So street directory. See if we can do article submissions here. So what an authority site is a site that ranks very high, not for just one key phrase or keyword, but for a real, not necessarily a broad, but I would say a targeted array of key phrases in a specific niche market. So to be an authority site, it's not just about sort of one random page that's ranking. It's a site that Google recognizes in that specific niche and in that sort of basket of key phrases that Google can trust, and they can direct consumers to it by rewarding that site with the top rankings on Google. And that's typically what I find is that once you can establish over time an authority site, is you're going to have a much easier time to continue expanding within your niche market and to rank even in broader and broader topics. You can go from credit repair to credit card reviews to all sorts of other things in financial services. That doesn't mean that your credit repair or your general sort of personal finance site or blog that can become an authority, that does not mean that you throw up an article about vacations in Hawaii or whatever. It doesn't mean that your site's going to automatically rank for that. Is typically you're going to see strong rankings within sort of that niche or kind of basket of keywords that your site is an authority in. So that's why I like to also pay attention and look for sites that are high ranking that allow me to submit articles and share articles with them, because this is one of the key things, again, is to take some of their authority, right, and be able to leverage their authority on to our site, right, to have some of the power of their not only referral traffic that can come to your site, but also the power of any of their backlinks, right? So let's talk about that a little bit more. So let's take a look. Author, invest in your nest egg. So right here, guest blog by Barbara. Let's click here. And this is going interesting. It's actually getting directed to their affiliate site. See if she has anything in the About Us. Nope, interesting. So they're directing that to Amazon. It's either her book or to a Jennifer Wales. There we go. Editorials. So Street Directory. I'm trying to find a good example for you of of how article distribution can also use effective backlinks and anchor text. There we go. Submit articles. Great. See if we see any anchor text here. Let's look for another one. I want to find sort of a nice example. All right, good. I want to see if we can find an example of some article distribution that's using a really strong set of anchor text. Let's see. So again, it takes some research, takes a little time. Again, so I'm seeing lots of guest content here, but I'm not seeing about the author. There we go. So the glossary of credit monitoring. Oh, that's to their own site. All right, let's keep looking. So again, this is why it's important to have some patience and really continue digging into into your niche markets. All right, let me close some of these. Again, I'm trying to find some good article distribution for us. Let's take a look. So as I'm going through this, I'm also writing down the other sites that are ranking. This is going to give me a really good feel for who the authority sites are in these niche markets and to reach out and contact them. So what I advise here is when we start to find these sites is to send them an email. Well, one, see if they have a place on their site to submit guest articles. And if not, what I'll do is I'll send them an email and I will see if I can guest author a blog post or be a guest author for an article. And what you're asking for in return is sort of an about us and anchor text back to your site. So some great examples of anchor text here is list of regulations, letter templates, credit card act. So the purpose and the benefit of using anchor text when you're generating and focusing on backlinks for your website is you're able to inform Google what your content, what your page is about, and also what you should start to rank for, right? So that's why it's also very important to write multiple articles and have sort of different sets of anchor text, different page titles, because you're informing Google that you're an authority on this and within this niche market. And also, very, very important, you're developing out a strategy for your backlinks and your anchor text. And that's why I also love understanding what titles start to make sense on Google so we can start to use these as our anchor text. So your anchor text in your articles and your press releases are not only meant to be, what should I say, or just the word credit dispute letter. It should be something that has some more diversity in within the keyword phrases that you're using synonyms, using industry acronyms. We saw, the term like 609 letter, like using that in your anchor text and also in your content and your page titles is starting to show Google that you're a broad authority across the board here. So that's something that, again, that I really like to focus on, is using all of the competitive intelligence and research that we're doing on Google for content that we're going to write and distribute out to article boards and article sites and guest blog posts, to do press releases for, and also to think about the anchor text that we want to use. And everything that you need to rank high on Google is here. It's just a matter of putting in a little bit of the research time that we discussed here and really planning it out. And this works very well for affiliates. You do not have to have your own product or run banner ads or anything like that. You could focus very heavily on just look either direct linking to affiliate offers, or build a list to your site or your blog and then market affiliate offers to them. So again, there's multiple ways to kind of monetize that traffic, but building an authority site is a great opportunity for an affiliate because it allows you to consistently generate and scale organic traffic, right? So that's why it's important to have a long-term strategy for content development. And a big part of it is submitting articles and press releases and thinking about the anchor text and the backlinks that you're going to be building, and have a really sort of thoughtful use on the types of page titles that you're going to create. Use some intrigue, use some questions, and some interesting and diverse backlinks, right? Where you're using, kind of a set of different phrases and synonyms, as I mentioned, within your niche market. That's how you're training Google that you're an authority across this broader niche market. So very, very important way to think about it. And you do not want to be writing articles or having an outsourcer, which again, we're going to talk about on a webinar very soon, write articles that are just kind of stuffing keywords. You're not going to write credit dispute letter 30 times in one page, right? You want to use other ways of describing it, like we started to see here. You had to fix your credit score, 609 letter, like all of these different phrases start to train Google that you're an authority in a specific niche market, and we can use content that we write to repurpose it and publish it on your blog and also on article sites and other guest blogs. And just pay attention again to your call to action in any of your titles and links, and then also, of course, in the anchor text in your backlinks. Awesome. So if everyone enjoyed the webinar tonight, and look forward to continuing next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We hope you can join live. Really important to join live. We can answer all of your questions and look at your specific niche markets and offers. Also, of course, all of the replays are available on OfferVault.com, and log into your account and then click free training. So we have just lots of just great content for you. It's all free. Please definitely consume it. And again, make sure that you are signing up through OfferVault for 10 new affiliate networks each and every week. Hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. Have a great night.